Hello, Luke Rethke here, reporting to you from the front lines of the Infowar. Today I'd like to touch on a subject that a lot of alternative media outlets and reporters tend to shy away from and say that it doesn't really exist, or it's just a fairy tale, or people blow it out of proportion. What I'm talking about is eugenics. Eugenics has been developing for probably well over a century. I would have to say it got popular back in the 40s. They used it in Nazi Germany. Stalin used it. Fluoride in the water is a big part of it. Fluoride is not good for your teeth, really. A few studies maybe show that it is if you use it topically. I'm kind of doubt it, to be honest. It's more of a poison. It's more harmful to the individual than it is beneficial. And like I said, that's a big part of the eugenics program. To anyone that says it doesn't exist, all you got to do is look up the Georgia Guidestones. It's pretty much written in stone that some people or groups of people, whoever put those stones there, I'm trying to think of the guy's name. It was Christensen. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but it's a real strange story about how those things appeared. I think it was in the 80s, in the mid 80s is when they popped up, and the first thing on there says maintain humanity at 500 million. Okay, there's 7 billion of us right now, and there's a lot of people who think that the world is overpopulated. So that means about 95% of us will have to die to get to that 500 million. I happen to think that 7 billion people could cohabitate nicely. I mean, the way we're doing it right now is a little bit dysfunctional. Obviously, we're kind of pillaging the resources and not managing them properly. That's. And it's basically, it's up to all of us individuals to think for ourselves and do the right thing, and to basically take over control of the resources. Because if we destroy the planet that we're walking on, I don't see a way out. I don't see another planet waiting for us somewhere. Who knows? Maybe that's not totally out of the question, but I'd rather just manage the planet that we have right here. I happen to believe that 7 billion people can survive most certainly on 7 billion acres of ground, which would be contained within South America or within North America, if my calculations are correct, and we could manage that, and then the rest of the planet would be completely void of human beings. But that's just one scenario, to where that more like an agrarian society, where if it was properly irrigated, we could grow our own food one acre per person. 2 acres per person is very reasonable to do. Half acre per person, it just depends on how you do it, really. And that's not really living in society. That's just everybody having an acre of ground, and every person doing it for themselves on the 1 acre. And we could do it that way. And with technology, there's so many different options. It's not even funny. I mean, killing off 95% of us is just absurd, if you ask me. Whoever has come up with that plan is an idiot, and they need to be brought to justice. We need to just come to consensus that is it possible or is it not possible, and if it's not possible, well, I just can't believe that. There's just too many possibilities. It's a universe of infinite possibilities, and I see abundance, and then I see a lot of mismanagement and suppression of technology. Like, for one thing, I don't remember quite when it was. I think it was back in the 20s. I want to say Nikola Tesla brought forth an invention of basically free energy, free electricity, and J.P. Morgan suppressed it, saying, well, if there's no way to charge people, we can't do it, it's abandoned. Well, that's not really the point. And obviously, that coming from a standpoint of someone who was in power at that time, you would not want something like that to happen, because obviously anyone who could utilize that type of stuff would basically more than likely would destroy the people that are in power, or not necessarily destroy them, but you know, it's like a power struggle basically. That's the global predicament that we're in. It's got nothing to do with much of anything else. I mean, money is involved, but it's more about power than it is money. Basically, we all have to think for ourselves. That's my challenge to all of you out there, is to think for yourselves and wake up for yourself, and then go on and wake up just one person, and then two, and then three, and you know, we can all learn to get along, and definitely don't need to enslave the population to save the planet. That's if you read between the lines and you look into what the government is taking the taxpayer money and putting it into, they don't have our best interest in mind. I mean, the eugenics program is proof of hardcore tyranny, scientific dictatorship right there in your face. John P. Holdren is the White House science czar appointed by Obama, and he wrote a manual called Eco-Science. It's like 1,500 pages. He wrote it back in 1977, and it's basically a manual of how to control populations, and that's what the federal government is using. I mean, he's been appointed by Obama. He wrote the book. I mean, you read a few things in the book, and you look at what's going on, and it's obvious that's what's going on. And anybody who thinks that it's a big fairy tale, that everything's okay, you're definitely most certainly part of the problem. So anyway, again, I'm Lucas Rethke. Most people call me Luke, reporting to you from Infowars. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.